Hi, this is Mr. Che. Hope you're doing well. Okay, so let's describe what the greatest integer function is. I think that's probably the most difficult part. Okay, so when you have the greatest integer, y is equal to, and it's put in a bracket, x, and this put and close bracket. So what this is it's rounding down to the nearest integer. Okay, so if I have, let's say, x and y, let's put a table together right here. Okay, and y is equal to the greatest integer, let's say x, all right? Let's say I have 0.1. Okay, let's make x 0.1. If I plug this in, y is equal to 0.1, oops, 1. Okay, if I plug this in here, comes out of that, okay, y is equal to 0. Y is going to equal to the closest integer rounding down. So if I go 0.2, y is equal to 0.2. Once it comes out, it's still 0. Okay? So I could do that from 0.3, 0.4, all the way to 0.9. And at 0.9, y is equal to 0.9. Once it comes out, remember this, the closest integer rounding down is 0. So this will all be 0. Okay? So now let's graph this. All right? I'm gonna try to make this a lot bigger because I recorded it before and then I didn't make it as big. Let's say here's 0 and here is 1. Okay? And let's call this is 0.1. At 0.1, what's y equal to? 0. At 0.2, what's y equal to? 0. At 0.3, what's y equal to? 0. Correct? So no matter what number I put in between 0 and 1, no matter what decimal, okay, I'm going to shade from here to here. Actually, I'm going to include this right here and an open circle at the 1. Because once it hits 1, what's the next greatest integer? It's 1. Okay, remember integers. Integers are whole numbers. And they include negative numbers and positive numbers. So -1, -2, -3, so on and so forth. Okay, so now let me make another table. Let's say we have a greatest integer. Let's say x, and let's say we have -1.1, -1.2, -1.3, -1.4, all the way down, and it goes to -1.9. Remember that you're rounding down. Okay, so y is equal to what? Y is equal to the greatest integer function of this. So y is equal to, if I go -1.1, if I round down, remember now negative numbers are tricky because if I round down, right, it's a bigger negative number. So this will be -2. Y is equal to what? -1.2. The greatest integer will still be -2. This will all be -2. All right. So if I go, here is 1. Here is -1, here's -2. Then from here, let's see here, a -2 will be the closed circle. Let's say there's 1 and -2. It'll be a closed circle here and cover all the way up to the -1. Okay, and then if you do -0.1, -0.2, the greatest common integer is -1, -1. So it'll go from closed circle to open circle right here. Okay? And this is why they call it a step function. Okay? Because it's going up in steps. All right? The next thing you have to know is, let's say this. If I have y equals the greatest integer function of x plus, let's say, 2. Okay? So you have to know what a parent function is. This is the parent function. This is the main function. After that, once I put a +2 after that, all of these steps go up 2 units. Okay, so from here, I'm going to change colors. So this portion right here will go up 2 units. So now the new function is from here to here. This one will go up 2 spots, so it will go from here to here. And then this will go up 2 spots, so it'll go from here to here. Okay, so this is the green part right here. The green part is, here's the parent function, this is the main function, and all we're doing is adding 2 to it. Okay, and so that's why it goes up. But let's say this, let's use another color, and let's say we have y is equal to x minus, let's say 2, right? And so the minus 2 is now inside of the bracket. What this does is, remember, the purple is the parent function. What this is going to do, the formula is y is equal to x minus h. So in other words, because the formula is minus, it stays minus. This is a positive 2. I know it's a little confusing, right? But it's a positive 2. All right. So if it's a minus inside of the brackets, it's a positive. But if it's positive outside the bracket, it goes up 2. I know, again, that was confusing, but try to hang in there with the formulas here. So the formula is x minus h. The h has to be 2, positive 2, because the original formula is minus. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to shift it 2 times. So 1 and 2, at 3, we're going to draw this new graph right here. I'm running out of space. So if I move it 2 times, 1, 2, this will be right here, and this will be right here. Okay, all right. So keep that in mind when you graph all these things. You have to know what the parent function is. The parent function is the main graph. All right. If there's a plus 2 outside of the bracket, that means it's going to go up 2. If there's a minus sign inside the bracket, all right, and there's a 2, that means that the 2 is positive because the formula is already it's already minus here. I hope this helps. I know it's kind of confusing. There's a lot to it, but this whole lesson is about parent functions. All right. Same thing with absolute value. Let's say I have the absolute value. If I have y is equal to the absolute value of x, okay, the absolute value, it looks something like this. This is the graph. What I'm having you try to learn is the shifts. This is the parent function. Y is equal to, let's say, the absolute value of x plus 2. What happens to this function? It goes up 2 units. So it goes up, let's say it goes up 1, 2 units. And it'll do the same thing, but up starting at the 2. What if I did this? Y is equal to x minus 2. All right. Then the new function, let's call this purple right here, would be this parent function will be shifted over 2 units this way. So it'll be the same thing, but starting here. And remember, it's y is equal to x minus h. The h, again, stands for the number of times you're going left or right. All right? Let's say now, and just to kind of add one last thing, let's say it's y is equal to x minus 3 plus 3. And I'm going to use orange for this. So this is the parent function. There's 2 shifts. There's a 3 to the right, so I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, and 3. So the new parent function will be up here. All right? There's a lot of shifting, I know, but then remember the h and the k are there. The h, so the formula is y is equal to a and then x minus h plus k. The h, if it stays negative inside or minus inside, the h is positive. All right, the h is the number of times you shift left or right. It's along the x-axis. The k is the number of times you go up or down. Okay? Hopefully that gets everything in. If you have any more questions, please let me know. All right? Thanks.